all part of the Lyons beat. Evening, Leonard.
Hello, Ed.
Lenny, if this is a typical picture of a hard-working columnist, where do I apply for a job?
Well, actually, I'm taking a rest because I've got quite an exciting weekend ahead of me. I'm going out, after this is over, going to, on my nightly round to 14 clubs, coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning, doing some writing, staying up until 6 until the boys get up, then go to bed, and at 1 o'clock we'll be in the park across the street playing football, and then at 2 o'clock I'm taking the car to Idlewild.
What are you doing at Idlewild?
Then I bought a plane for Russia.
For Russia? For how long?
For about 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, Lenny, you tell me you're going out night clubbing tonight?
Oh, yes. That's as I've done every night for 21 years.
Are you taking any of your family with you?
Unfortunately, not this trip. How about, say, meeting them?
Good.
Ed, you know Sylvia.
Yes, good evening, Sylvia.
Hello, Ed.
How are you?
And this is our firstborn, George.
How are you, George?
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
And our secondborn, Warren.
Hello, Mr. Morrow.
Evening, Warren.
Ed, incidentally, this painting is a view from our terrace. It was painted by Sylvia's mother.
Oh, was it? Sylvia, tell me this. Do you and the boys have to read Leonard's column to keep in contact with him?
Well, we don't have to read it, Ed, to do that. Actually, we have more contact with him as husband and father because I think he loves to be with us and we love to be with him. He has his breakfast around 12:30 every day when the younger boys come home to have their lunch. And then when he comes home in the evening to have his lunch, they're having dinner. Then very often he stays up till 6 and 7 in the morning after he's finished reading books, typing, working on a magazine article or improving the column, and by that time the boys are up and ready to go to school.
I see them 3 times a day and all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
Oh, you're fortunate.
That I am.
Leonard, how did it happen that you left your law practice to take up the writing of a column?
Well, it happened with a 50-cent notebook and a rented typewriter, but if we're going into biography, I can give you a visual autobiography in about 1 minute.
All right.
I was born in that part of town, Lower East Side of New York. I was graduated from PS 160. I'm wearing my graduation pin, PS 160 alumni.
Yes.
I wear it to disprove the common concept that all columnists are unschooled and illiterate. And then I went to law school at St. John's and was graduated. Sylvia showed the key.
Yes.
Voila.
And then I met Sylvia, who decided that I should become a columnist.
Not decided, suggested.
Suggested. And over here, we bought a 50-cent scrapbook, and I began writing contributions to all the other columnists. In the daytime, I'd practice law, and at night, on the rented typewriter, I'd write these contributions and send them in and make the rounds of newspaper offices once a week for 4 years, and was turned down by 63 newspaper editors until in 1934, the New York Post hired me, and we began.
Well, that's as good a visual biography as I have heard, or rather seen, in a long time. Lenny, what were the candles I saw just off to your right there a moment ago?
Oh, well, this is the festive occasions. These are the Hanukkah candles which I've lit all week. Tonight is the last night of the Festival of Lights. And these are the Friday night candles Sylvia lights each Friday night, and over which she prays for Sabbath joy, Sabbath blessing, and Sabbath peace for all the world.
And so after this biography that you gave me a moment ago, and you married Sylvia, and then you lived happily ever after.
Now,
is
just
that
a
right?
minute. More visual biography stuff. These are 4 gold safety pins. Sylvia calls them her service stripes.
Well, the first one represents George, and the second service stripe is Warren, and there are 2 service stripes to come.
And I get them? Hold just a minute. Jeffrey, Douglas, boys, come on in. Come on and meet Mr. Morrow.
This is Douglas.
Hi, Douglas.
And this is Jeffrey.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
How are you, Jeff?
Well, thank you.
Well, now that the clan is all gathered, let's see if we can find another columnist in the house. George, what about you?
Well, Mr. Morrow, I hope to be a writer. I'm enrolled at the School of Journalism at Syracuse University. I've also spent the last 3 summers writing sports for the Jersey Journal.
That's a good school at Syracuse, too, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is an excellent school.
Warren, how about you?
I intend to be in some form of theater, most probably acting, or maybe directing, although I haven't really tried that.
Jeff, you made up your mind yet?
I plan to be a car designer for General Motors.
A car design? General Motors, you've got that all figured, have you?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Curtis better watch out for his job.
That's right. Douglas, Have you made any plans for your life yet?
Well, I'm not sure. I may be an inventor or a scientist.
Douglas, can you spell cat?
C-A-T.
I'm going to make a columnist.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you spell cat.
Lenny, I've heard rumors that the 5 Lyons men indulge in some pretty wild games at home, like basketball. Is that true or false?
Well, it's true, but they're not so wild. Actually, we indulge in many games. On Saturdays and Sundays, we play football or baseball across the street. But this is the basketball season, so we have a basket set up in the boys' room, and would you like to see the game?
Yeah, are you trying to break your lease or something on that high apartment? Go ahead, let's see it.
Well, let's go. Up and at 'em, boys. We shall.
Is this the court?
This is it. We've had some exciting games in here.
All right, let's see how good you are.
All right, you ready, boys? Let's go.
Okay, Pop, put it in.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry. There we go. That gives you the idea. Oh, he's too good. They got me going.
Lenny, I must assume from this that your downstairs neighbors are either very friendly or out of town.
We hope they're both, but you mentioned lease breaking before. I think we better quit right now.
Well, good night, fellas. Thanks very much indeed. Lenny,
Yes, Ed.
you've been pretty much surrounded by celebrities for about 21 years now. Do you ever get bored with them?
Ed, the fact is I've never once used the word celebrity in describing a celebrated person. I prefer the company of exciting, newsworthy people, and exciting, newsworthy people never bore me, Ed. Incidentally, I have some interesting mementos from these newsworthy, exciting people. For instance, I have a collection of 46 books by or about artists, and in each of them, the artist has made some sketch or watercolor. This is one by Diego Rivera. Can you see it?
Yes, I can indeed.
This is one by Rule Duty, a watercolor.
Yeah?
Does that show up?
Yes, it does.
And this is one by Salvador Dali, his book of mustaches, and he did a sketch of me with a Dali mustache.
Very good.
These books are all first editions, and they're inscribed, and here are 2 unusual ones, Ed. This is Eisenhower's Crusade in Europe, which is inscribed, I hope you can read it, to Leonard Lyons with best wishes in regards to a real writer. In case anybody ever doubts that I'm a writer, I can always point to this and say I'm a writer by executive order of the President of the United States. The one I'm proudest of is this one, Harry Truman's Year of Decision. It has an unusual inscription. Can you see it?
I can see it, but I can't read it, Lenny.
With kindest regards and best wishes to Ambassador and Judge Lyons.
How did that happen, Ambassador and Judge?
Well, on the last night of the Truman administration, Sylvia and I were fortunate enough to be invited to dine with them at the White House. This was the very last night. And during the second course, we raised our right hands, and there was a vacancy then. The ambassadorship to Mexico was open. Sylvia was sworn in as ambassador to Mexico, and I was sworn in as a member of the Circuit Court of Appeals. We resigned during dessert, and so I guess we ambassador and judge from soup to nuts.
Sylvia, do you help Leonard with his work?
Well, if I do, Ed, I think it's more by omission than by commission.
No,
by staying out of his way.
Don't make her be immodest. I think I can best answer that. She does it in 2 ways. First, she actually goes out and covers many stories for me. She covered the coronation for me, Senate hearings. Whenever she takes a trip abroad, she writes me daily reports, and sometimes there often is 9 paragraphs in one message. But best of all, she helps me by complementing our lives perfectly, by seeing to it and helping see to it that our sons are raised to become decent, useful, and happy citizens.
I'm glad you asked that last question, Ed.
A very good answer, too. Lenny, I've noticed that a favorite word of yours is exciting.
Yes?
Who's the most exciting person you ever met?
That's hard to say, because it's like asking which son of mine I love best. I love them all alike. There are so many, but I guess the one who I had to say was most exciting would be the one who influenced my life most, and that, of course, would have to be Sylvia.
Sylvia, any especially exciting moment that stands out in your memory?
Well, it's hard to say because every day is exciting for me because our lives are so unpredictable. I never know in the morning where I'm going to have lunch or whether I'm going to have dinner at home
Or make a speech.
Make a speech that afternoon or be asked to do something for a charity that night or the next day. And it's just that, always that doubt that makes it fun. And I would hate to have to live by a schedule. I can't ever invite people to dinner 3 months in advance or 3 weeks in advance. It must be wonderful.
She's also a very good catcher at baseball. We got a little trouble with her. She still hits the right field.
But somebody told me how to conquer that. They said just to stand with my left foot a little bit further back, and then that would correct the whole thing, so I can't wait for spring training.
Well, Sylvia and Lenny, as you know, we planned to go out to see Tim Novak first, and we had a bit of pantomime because we lost our audio from there. But
Well,
they tell me that we're all right now, so...
I hope your readers aren't confused because, after all, you're dealing with two blue-eyed blondes tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Sylvia and Leonard Lyons, for letting us come and visit you.
Thank you
Very much. And will you say, oh, I see the boys in the background. Good night, fellows. Good night.